Good morning, Silvervale. Or is it evening? Either way, welcome. My name is Nara Shiva, and I am arguably human. Arguably human. Yes, arguably. Covered that in episode 1, so let's do something new. What is culture? And do all animals have the capacity for culture? Now, first, let's answer that question. The first question of culture. What is it? I'm sure there's a textbook definition, but that's boring. We can all look things up. I'm more interested in telling what I feel, and that in and of itself, that in and of itself is part of the definition, people. That's the beauty of it. But more or less, I believe that culture is somewhat of a shared experience of you or a group of people or whatever, beings or a being or just life. Life leaving its mark on the world for others to experience, to enjoy, and not for that express purpose. No, no, no. It's not just to be seen by another person. It's just culture, I believe, is just the artifacts that we naturally leave or unnaturally leave behind just by virtue of living our lives and expressing ourselves and telling the world that we are here. It takes many forms: music, art, food, but it also takes every form. Your tools, your work culture, all of these things. So I firmly believe that every living being, human and non human, has a culture of some sort and has the capacity to leave these artifacts of our lives in any way, shape, and form that we can or will. Because, for example, let's do a little math. Art is undeniably culture, correct? And then let's get into that definition. What is art? Well, and that art takes literally any form you can think of if you stay out of the realm of it's just painting. Some people don't have the capacity to understand that music is art. Because when people say art, they assume paintings like in the Sistine Chapel. They take, it has to be something in the museum. It has to be certified. There has to be some human who says, "Boom, this is art. This is not art. This is art. This is not art." And I find that absolutely ridiculous. Who are you? Who am I? Who is anyone to tell anyone else what is or isn't art to their heart? Because art is just pure expression. So, like dancing, yes, that's art. I know some of you are like, no, 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 no. Dancing is its own thing. Music is its own thing. Movies are their own thing. Me, 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 me. No, no, no. Art is more than just paint on a canvas. That is a painting, sir. Your words are very, very important. And people like to have certain connotations and defaults for what they think when they say certain words. But in reality, you have to understand that words are multifaceted and sometimes a bit vague. Just like culture. So all art and culture are intrinsically linked, clearly. Meaning culture can take literally any form as well. So let's talk about that. What is the difference between art and culture? I believe it's about a shared experience. I can make a piece of art, but that in and of itself is not a culture. I would say it's a cultural object or artifact, but only in so that it speaks to some sort of community. That's where the kicker is, I believe. Culture comes from a sense of community. That we all come together around this art and say, we see ourselves somewhere in this. For example, the movie Fantastic Mr. Fox. Oh, boy, do I see myself in that movie 100%. For those of you who are not initiated, the movie Fantastic Mr. Fox is based on the book Fantastic Mr. Fox by Roald Dahl. But let's talk about the movie for right now. In the movie is about a fox who, in his youth, would lie, cheat, steal in order to survive. But that's a dangerous game, of course. But it's also just nature. It's what we do. It's what all living beings do when they have mouths to feed, and there's no other option. But Mr. Fox's wife demands he seek another option, because they have a child on the way. And what good is a father who is dead looking for food? So Mr. Fox shapes up and decides to be a bit more civilized, less wild, trying to rein himself in and go against his instincts to lie, cheat, and steal his way into getting food for his family. And I feel a lot of people flock towards that movie because they see themselves in it. Because the core of the story is the duality of man or fox or any living creature. It's I guess the way society and humans and whatnot want to make sure that we're restrained, that we aren't just wild animals doing whatever we do. But the moral of the story is, at the end of the day, we're all wild animals. We're all absolutely wild animals, and that we've just decided to put limitations on ourselves. And honestly, I will say some limitations are good. For the love of God, going completely apeshit all the time is not good for anyone. As the movie and the book dictate, Mr. Fox goes back into stealing chickens and everything, even though he has a wife, he has family, he has all of these people he must protect. And he brings them down into this horrible danger. And I feel like a lot of us ride that line every day, that we know that there's a quicker and easier way to a lot of the things that we want to do, but are not acceptable in our society. That might not be acceptable in our social circles. It goes against the norms. It goes against our cultural identity sometimes to do certain things that may be abhorrent. Or maybe the opposite is true. That's also very true. Maybe the opposite, depending on your relative position. Being a liar, a cheater, and a thief may be absolutely amazing for your society. Who am I to judge? All I have is my relative position as a humble American fox at this time who was trying not to get arrested again. Yeah, I've been arrested. We'll talk about that later. But that's the thing. Culture is a shared experience, something that we all kind of can look at and see a bit of ourselves and want to just identify and kind of homogenize with our community with. And then I believe, personally, that through these shared culture, that is where our rules are really set. Because when you break those social and cultural norms that you have built in whatever circle that you've created, don't just think about the big government or whatever. Think about your own social circles. What are the faux pas? What are the things that you cannot do or you must do to maintain your social circles? I believe that is the crux of culture, along with showing that shared experience of our lives. So, this is Narashiva, arguably human, and I love you. Bye.